So, guys, today we have two amazing speakers with us, and our speakers are well experienced. I know some people might be wondering what are we discussing today. So, for today's section, I will be discussing about building a personal brand and establishing an online presence in the Web3 industry, or in the Web3 space. And also, our speakers will be sharing some strategies for growing a loyal following and also engaging with Web3 community, which is very, very important. Like if you don't have an engaged community on Web3, believe me, you'll be left out. It seems as if you are using both. And then how you could leverage social media and online platforms to amplify your voice, which is something our speakers have been doing. I've seen Mami make use of our social media presence to be able to leverage, to be able to reach out to wider audience to use it to amplify what she's doing. And also, we've seen several results from Peniel as well. So let's welcome our two speakers for today. So our two speakers are please kindly introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your backgrounds. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for this event. My name is Peniel Ijeoma Mezue, and I'm the co-founder for Web3 Influencers Network. And basically, our brand is more like an influencer marketing agency. And also we specialize in raising Web3 influencers, sort of, and of course, guiding them through, of course, a lot of things that I would also share with you as well. I have experience, more than 5 years experience in branding and communications in the Web2 space, and I worked with a couple of brands in Lagos, from brand designs and whatnot, having their brand voice and all that. So I'm looking forward to the many things I'll share in this training. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So I am Mame, a Web3 product designer, and I'm the Polygon Guild Mage for Ibadan. I do product designing, so it's actually very important understanding your own brand. And I'll be talking more about like branding and putting yourself out there in Web3. So thank you.
That's awesome. I'm glad our speakers for tonight's section are, should I say professionals or experts in personal branding. And they have the experience. Like Penny said, she has experience in Web2 before she transited into the Web3 ecosystem. And she raising influencers. This is something that's really unique. We have several, we have several community who have raised community managers, moderators, several Web3 platforms. But I've not seen one which is specifically for influencers. Maybe people thought there's no need to raise influencers. It's something you catch up with, but having someone to train influencers to make you become a key opinion leaders, specifically, it's something that's really, really amazing. So, guys, welcome to today's section one more time, and thanks so much, guys, for joining. Thanks so much to our speakers for coming here to share, wealth of experience and knowledge with us. So, let's dive into tonight's discussion talking about building a personal brand and establishing an online presence in the Web3 industry. So let's start with Mami. So Mami, in your personal words or probably your personal experience, how do you describe building a personal brand and establishing an online presence in Web3? Then Penny also can also share our view as well. So I just want you guys to discuss, make this section interactive. So we don't have to go through, you don't have to make it like a scripted event. No, I just want you guys to go through it as for beginners, just share your experience, talk, and let's communicate with the participants. Let's share our story, and let's go.
Yeah, okay, so thank you so much. So I would usually keep, when it comes to branding, I feel like we as just normal humans, before we go into Web3, there you have different categories of friends. So you know that this particular set of friends, we have this kind of friends that we know that, oh, this person does not take nonsense. And then you know some friends that you know you just need to tell them sorry. You call it branding. You know that yes, this is what this person stands for. So branding usually tells like the story or what a person is about. So that is the first thing about branding. You know, I usually like to keep this. I'm a big fan of Nicki Minaj, and put it this way, I want to use it as a way of talking about branding. So when the Barbie movie premiered, the first artist that came to everybody's heart or everybody's head was Nicki Minaj, because she has had that branding of Barbie pink for a long time. So branding is that part of you that sends a message even without saying your name. People know what you are about. Pink, you know, is girly, is this. Coca-Cola, where you see that shade of red, even if Pepsi come and put their name on it, you know that this is Coca-Cola destined. Or even if you see, what is it called, a cola bottle, and you are seeing just that red, you assume automatically there's going to be Coca-Cola. So branding is how you put yourself out there, the message you're trying to pass to people. So brand, that's what brand is majorly about. The message you're trying to pass about people. So then in the Web3 space, you want people to know what you're actually about in the Web3 space. Because me, when I first came into the Web3 space, I was more about, I was like, okay, Web3 is about individuality. It preaches you, you owning your things on the internet and stuff like that. Then how do I want to contribute in the Web3 space? You can easily get lost in an ocean, but like you identifying yourself, this is fishy you want to become, or stuff like that. So I just said, okay, how would I like to contribute to the Web3 ecosystem? I told myself, what do I normally do? That's product design. So why don't I bring my product design expertise into the Web3 ecosystem? So I just took my product design knowledge and I started applying it in the Web3 system. And I kept on preaching one thing. One thing I still preach today is the role of product design in Web3 adoption. How important it is for product design in the Web3 adoption, like mass adoption. So how does the user flow help people in letting them adapt to Web3 technology? So why do certain people use certain apps? Why do they leave? What will make somebody go from this other place to this new place? My own is just preaching how the product design is about. And then if you go on Twitter, you know, when you see some kind of purple, my friends already know once it's purple, you know it's me. Once you know someone that is obsessed over Nicki Minaj, you know it's me. So I built that brand that, okay, this is what this person is actually about. I want that. I'm very sure that that's one. That's why I'm using the example of, if you have certain friends, you know that this friend does not like this. There's some friends that you know that, they're spirit coco. They only go to church. You cannot invite them to the club. They have built that brand for themselves. So I feel like in the Web3 ecosystem too, the message and the way you want people to perceive you, not the way you want people to perceive you, that's how your brand is. So in the Web3, you could say, okay, I just want to be faceless. Okay, I want to be this. There's some people that you just need to just see their picture. You don't even need to see that, you just need to say certain things and you already know that, this is what this person is about. Or just remember, there are some people that if you use an emoji, that emoji, you'll be like, this person's always saying like that. They have repeatedly shown you that this is what they are about and this is what they stand for. So I feel like that's what branding is about. Yeah, so for me. So hi Peniel.
Okay, thank you very much. So to add to what Mami has said, was just 100% correct in terms of like what branding is, because basically branding is building a perception of you that you want people to have. So it's a very deliberate effort, because people would think that branding is not something deliberate, you're just being yourself. But no, you can actually deliberately build the kind of image that comes to people's mind when your name is mentioned, literally. And it's an intentional effort, starting from, even the way your page looks, even the way you talk. And I'll just give a typical example. When you see a couple of these are the Web2 social media influencers, from Brother Shaggy to Sabinus to, all those different, they always have this line or sentence that is unique to them, that just shows that, okay, for example, I think Sabinus has the ridiculous way that he shouts Jesus when when something happens, Of course, that is a very viral meme, but whenever you hear that sound alone, something already comes to mind, like somebody already comes to mind without even you having to look, So that is the intentional part of it, because you have to build everything from your language to your style to your imagery, all is very intentional in building a brand. But of course, in Web3, how did you build that personal brand? For now, because I'm also raising influencers, I always to tell them your niche, you want to know, you want to focus, like Mami already said, she said she's focusing on product development, right? Or product design rather. And then for me, I'm as a brand person in branding and communications, I just said, okay, let me bring in stuff that I also know in branding and bring it into Web2. So I am that influencer marketing person that, like a specialist, or a professional, even I can even have like consulting role in influencer marketing, because I have just created an identity for myself in the influencer marketing niche. As a matter of fact, sometime last week, I was even invited by LinkedIn to contribute to an article on influencer marketing, also because now that is like a brand that I've established for myself. So usually I would tell my, people, people that I'm raising, that they should just pick a niche for themselves. You can pick basic blockchain education, you can pick GameFi, you can pick NFTs, you can pick DeSci, and just say, what, all my content or 90% of my content are going to be around DeSci, And then there's this guy Exploit, who is a spoken word, a Web3 spoken word artist. So when you come to this page, you definitely know you will see poetry, poem, that are, in line with Web3, So it's actually important to build that personal brand, because we're living in like a digital age right now, and a lot of people are talking every day. You come online on WhatsApp, you see on your friend status, there's a lot of information, like there's a lot of content going out, every day. So there's a lot of media, sort of, people are consuming media a lot, and everybody is in everybody's face, literally. So the question is, how do you stand out to people? And the way to stand out to people is for them to identify you with something, So definitely, if you want to say I'm building my brand as an NFT specialist, people now know that, okay, when I'm looking for any information about NFT, this is the person I should be looking forward to, And then in that NFT marketplace, there are many NFT specialists. So question is, how do you now stand out amongst these many NFT specialists? So that's also your brand design, because of course in developing your brand design as well, which is from the way your page appears. Some people even like to use colors. Like there's this lady who is an influencer, Purple Speedy. Anything purple, you just see somebody purple dancing, you already know it's her. That's the way she stood out from every other dancers on the internet. So you can pick something by yourself, just like Mami mentioned, maybe an emoji that just stands out for you. So when people just see that emoji, they know that this is you talking, because there's a lot of noise right now, especially with a lot of people talking in digital also. The question is, how do you stand out? And that's how you stand out through building your personal brand. Thank you.
So much, Penny and Mami. Thanks for that awesome introduction into personal branding and Web3. So now let's take it to the beginner's level. So how can they start their career in Web3, as not starting a career personally per se, but how can they start their personal brand building career in Web3? They're all beginners and they are looking to explore the Web3 ecosystem. They are looking for to see ways at which they could build their portfolio, build their personal branding, and make a name for themselves, because they are all ready to start looking for opportunities in the Web3 space. So how can they position themselves using their personal branding? How can they start up? I just want you guys to share something that the participants can understand, something conversational. So because they are all beginners and they are very new to this space.
Okay, I think I can start. Okay, so how to, as a beginner, how to build your personal brand. Basically, step one is to learn everything that there is to at least understand the basics of blockchain, at least the basics of blockchain, right? Because also blockchain is very deep. And of course, there are sub industries in the blockchain space, like earlier mentioned. There's layer one, layer two blockchain, DeFi, NFTs, GameFi, and now there's even a current fusion of blockchain with AI. We don't know what that would be called eventually, but people are trying to now see how blockchain and AI can merge. And of course, and that was if that happens, that's another industry on its own, or another niche on its own. There's also decentralized science, as well. So the thing I would just always tell the people I'm raising is that I would always tell them that you should focus at least, even if you say, okay, I am interested in GameFi, for example. So GameFi is gaming and finance, which is the gaming aspect of blockchain, right? So now let's say you want to focus on GameFi and say, okay, I'm already a Web2 gamer. Let me see how I can, move into Web3 and still be a gamer, right? You can build a niche for yourself there. And let's just say you find an interest in AI, right? Usually would tell them in building because in brand building, you have to be identified more than 90% for something. For example, the Coca-Cola brand, many people don't even know that Coca-Cola are the ones that are making Eva water, Five Alive, and they have a couple of canned drinks and all that. Why? Because their most prominent product is Coke, right? So in your building your personal brand, there must be that one major thing you are identified with. Let's probably say GameFi. And then probably you can now add maybe NFT. But there should be that ratio of a 70-30, so that people can be able to differentiate your information. Sorry, please, okay, so so that people can be able to differentiate the content you're pushing out, um, and help you stand out from the many things that are happening around. So you first of all, I would say learn everything you need to learn about at least the basics of blockchain, and then step two is after learning the basics of blockchain, specialize in an area, at least two, but there must be a major area that you specialize in that you are known for. And then when you are known for that, you can now become an influencer and a thought leader in that niche. So I think that would be basically what I would say for that. I don't know if you have anything to say, Mami.
Yes, I have. So I've actually said a lot of things already, but I would like to like what you already said. For you as a beginner, first and foremost, I will always advise this thing. What do you like? Yes, sometimes you want to. Yesterday at the space I was talking about, yes, you want to come into the Web3 space and like, oh, yeah, everybody is doing this, everybody is doing that, and I want to do this, I want to do that. Just like when you're in secondary school, at least a lot of us know about the secondary school education, the university education, and the master's program. So when you're in secondary school, you either choose science, arts, commercial, or tech class, any of the above. You choose that. And then when you are going to the university, let's use university as your Web3 and as your journey at first in Web3, and then your secondary school as what you currently do in Web2. At least you have an account. You can't tell me you don't have a Facebook account. So at least you have an account. And then for you to be on this particular meeting, you already have something you're doing before. You just want something to leverage on. You are teaching, you're a student, you write, you do assignments. It's still something. Writing, you enjoy reading, you enjoy singing, any of the above. So let's put Web2 as the secondary school, your university as Web3 beginning, and then let's say your masters as you later in Web3. So in Web2, normally in SS1, SS2, SS3, let's say you're in science class. Most likely when you get to the university, you go to Faculty of Science, you go to faculty of BMLS, the basic medicine and stuff like that. Then if you're an art student, surely we'll see you in the law side, we'll see you in the art side, theater art side. You can't expect me that did science in secondary school to go and say I want to do law in the university. So that's another way. So whatever you are currently doing in Web 2, you just carry it as a beginner. You carry it into Web 3. And then when you're in Web 2, when you're in secondary school, you are going to the university, you need to know what you need for you to enter a particular thing. So also as a science student, when I was in secondary school, I'm coming to university, let's say I want to study medicine. I go and look for the kind of university I want. That is first. So you want to know the kind of developer you want to become, a front-end or back-end developer in Web3. Let's say you are in the development side. You are a designer, you want to know whether you want to do product design, you want to do graphics design and stuff like that. So that is like Arts, Faculty of Arts. You get. So then you now know what are the requirements for me to get this particular thing. Let's say, I want to do law. The cut mark for law is usually higher than other art courses. Then you're okay, I need to do this. So I want to do product design. I want to do graphics design. I want to use this because those are like what I know more about. I want to do graphics design. I want to do brand design. I want to be an illustrator because it's still like under art. And I'm like, okay, for me to become a Web3 illustrator, that means I need to have some certain knowledge about Web3. So what do most brands in Web3 usually want? They usually like the ingredient. They usually have like this particular way of speaking about their brand. So you need to understand that first. I feel like even before you think about your brand, you need to know what you actually want to do first. Because when you're sending a message today, you cannot come and tell me, you cannot be pushing a brand of yellow, 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 yellow. Tomorrow you come and be pushing. I'm just trying to use color as a way of you pushing your message. And tomorrow you're coming to say, oh no, my brand Gogon is blue. By the time you change like 3 times, people will be confused. They don't know even what you stand for. It's like now if Coca-Cola come and change their color, everybody just be surprised. What happened? How come? Why are they changing their color? Because they're like, they have used that particular color, that particular branding. So I feel like when you're moving from Web 2 to Web 3, first and foremost, know what you want to come and do first in Web 3. At least at the beginning stage. Okay, let's say you're in hard to do any other thing, you do every other thing. Then maybe along the line, let's say as a designer, you have been doing Web3 design, like you already understood the concepts of Web3. So let me put it how your Web2 to your Web3 this thing happens. You're in secondary school, you do arts, you do science, you do business, you do all those kind of stuff. And you're going to the university, which is Web3, and you want to do Web3 product design. That jam that you do, I'm talking about Nigerian audience. That jam that you do, that's WAEC that you do. That is what you need to do to get into Web3. So no matter what you do, no matter as a product designer, you create user flows, you create user journey maps and stuff like that. You create screens, you create prototypes and interactive designs. Those are the things that you normally do in Web2. You are bringing into Web3. That is normal. But the only difference is now you need to understand what the Web3 technology is actually about. So you really need to know, how do Web3 user flows go? How do you design for Web3? What are the major things that are more conversant with Web3 brands and stuff like that? So you already know that. So that in between is that your jam when you're preparing for your jam and for your WAEC. Do you understand? So that's it. So when you are coming from Web 2 and you're going to Web 3, first and usually understand. First and foremost, I will usually say go where the barrier is a bit low. So like what you're already normally good at. I like writing. Let me start with my writing first before I move to doing before I move to Web3 kind of this thing. Even as a developer, if you say, you want to become a developer, something, you still need to know the basics of Web2, which is like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So you still need to know that before you even say you want to start doing Solidity and all. So you need to start from somewhere first, and then you just build small. Then another thing, know what you want. Yes, everybody can say, I want to build a brand, I want to influence for this, I want to do this. But at least know what you want to preach out. You cannot be preaching what you don't know. At least first and foremost, to know what you actually want to preach, what you want to put out there. Have good and deep knowledge, understanding first, before you now say, okay, that is what I want people to know me for. But at least whatever you want people to know you for, know what you're about. Yeah, that's it for now. Thank you.
thanks so much, Mommy Peniel. Thanks so much for this. So, guys, before we move on, please keep your questions coming in. If you have any question regarding personal branding, being an online presence, please request to speak or use the Telegram chat. Let's give it a moment if there's any questions before we move on. I believe I was because we have some shows here. I think there's a question in the Telegram first. So someone is asking, what is DC, please? I don't know. Did any speaker mention DC?
No. It did. Do you mean DeFi?
Oh, maybe she meant DeFi because the spelling here is
Well, I mentioned decentralized science.
Oh no, but it's not the spelling. It's DESCI.
Yeah, maybe she did a mistake.
Person asks this DECI, not is DESCI now?
Said okay, something like that, Abby.
Yeah. Okay, if there is no another.
There's a question. There are questions there.
Okay.
Someone is
asking.
You can continue.
Okay, someone is asking, as a beginner, what are the basic tools I need as a product designer?
So, as a beginner, what do you need as a product designer? I would say, if you are someone that has like an eye for visual things, then put that way. We like to check like visual things. First and foremost, that is product design. And then I would say, when you are starting as a product designer or any skill you want to learn, you have YouTube. I don't know how I can preach the goodness of YouTube. I'm a very good, big, and wonderful believer of the application and software of YouTube. Go there, check. There are many free courses on YouTube. Even Zuri team, AGNG, when they first started, they used to upload their classes on YouTube. You can check on Zuri team. They are different so that you know if that is what you actually want. Because you know, sometimes you may just be driven by like what people are saying, like at least to know what you want to start from. And then after you feel like, oh, you are really, really good at that YouTube, I would advise you take the Google UX design course. Then after that, begin to think of problems. And apart from the visual side of product design, you know, it's product design asking me, someone you have to be empathetic. So you need to be someone that likes to see things from other people's point of view. So this is what the client wants, and this is the users. I, as a client, I want to be able to provide solutions. Let's say delivery. The clients, the users, the clients. I'm talking about the company, the person you want to build app for, and then the users are the people that actually want to use, let's say, a mobile app, and let's use a food delivery app. Let me use that as an example. You are going to check what the users are complaining, the particular problem that your client, which is the owner of the app or the developer of the app, is wanting to solve from the user's problem is, or maybe very slow delivery, very they don't easily get the prices, or the thing is not calculated on it, or they cannot find fast restaurants around them. That is one problem. So you, as a product designer, you carry out market research, you check, oh, what do they need to do, and build an app that actually solves that problem. That's it. You're just a problem solver. You build an app that actually solves that problem. So as a product designer, before you start even getting a job, first and foremost, you build a portfolio. You can use Dribble or Behance before you start going, oh, you want to be your own personal brand. So I'll say start with YouTube. Then next, take a course or two. Try and speak to certain people. Make developer friends. You guys say, if you're a designer, your friends should not only be designers. Try and make friends, attend events, connect with people, and then have like people in other fields. So like as a product designer, try and make friends with developers, most especially the ones that are even on your level. You guys can build things together. Today, you put something in your portfolio. Tell your developer friends to build it. You have a live product. Easy like that. So that way, and then another thing is build publicly to a certain extent. I mean, you can still keep some things to yourself, but like build projects publicly and let people know that yes, this is what you're about. So that's another thing. So that is a product. I would just say that is a product, becoming a product designer, I'll put that way. And therefore, in Web3, as a product designer, you already have your Web2 knowledge already. That says, you already learned on YouTube, you did this. Then now, go and learn about how user flows in Web3 app. Learn about the Web3 listen. In your normal Web2 app, your Facebook, when you are onboarding a patient, you're onboarding a new user, you use the email and password or the Google sign-in. But in Web3, typically, it is usually the connect to your wallet. So those basic things are just the things you need to know and understand. So that is so. And if you want to shop, it's usually like a mint or something rather than the way you just press shop. So you just need to learn the differences in how Web3 actually works. Then that way you are able to just really migrate to Web3. So that is, I already told you the way to become a product designer even in Web2 and how to become a product designer even in Web3. So that's it for the person that wants to become a product designer. So thank you.
Awesome. How does answer the question, Big Boss? Okay. Moving on. I think I share your experience how you're able to use your personal brand to secure first job in Replica ecosystem and how you guys did it as well. I believe the participants want to connect to you guys. If you don't mind, you can go first.
Okay, I think please, I don't know if you can be clear again because you're sounding muffled sort of.
Oh, sorry about that. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
So, I said, can you share your story, how you used your personal branding to secure first job in Replica ecosystem? How were you able to use it? What was, are the challenges you faced? And how were you able to overcome these challenges? And how it has been helping you at this moment now?
Okay. First of all, well, I would say I think our first official job, because for me, I am our brand is focused on raising people. So of course we've partnered with a lot of agencies, including brands on Polkadot blockchain. One of the ways we did that was first of all basic brand development. For my agency, which is Web3 Influencers Network, our official brand color is orange. So a couple of intentional branding that was done, and of course, we went an extra mile in terms of professionalism with, our trainings for our cohort. So the thing here is, when we started, because of course I'm like myself and my fellow co-founder, when we started, we actually had to like sit through our brand session, because we just like Mami and I earlier said, like in building your brand, you have to decide for yourself what you want people to know you for, so, and just like you have a friend that is very strict, very disciplinarian and all that, so that is there's a lot of detail in building that brand. So for us, we decided that this is what we want to do. We want to be very excellent and very detailed in what we do. We also want to give all our cohorts, students or participants, an experience that they have never had before, and at the same time, for the partners that supported the cohorts as well, we wanted to also stand out in terms of the kind of perception they might have of Nigerian brands, so, and thankfully we were able to achieve that by several milestones. As a matter of fact, one of our partners said we are the most, there was a way she puts that in. I think she said we are the most vibrant and there's a language she used, but anyways, but that actually showed me that, the intentionality that we put into what we were doing paid off, because we were very intentional about the perception we wanted both our partners and both our cohorts, participants to have of us. And that was the experience that we had, just like, Mame explained, in product design too, you are also designing people's experience of your product, right? So it's that experience to, because that experience in your product has to align with what your brand represents, right? So there's also that intentionality in designing the user experience where, where people contact your brand. Because I would not speak as, I won't speak as like somebody getting a job. I'm representing an agency, which is my company. So is how has building a brand for my company helped me achieve several many things, in the industry. So that has helped me, because it's also gave me a couple of leverage referrals and all that. And of course, all my cohort participants are very animated in such that they actually had a very fantastic experience during the cohort as well. So that intentionality, because somebody was asking me one time and he said, why have you not done a second cohort? And I told him that you don't know that it takes us more than 2 months of planning, because we are sitting down and brainstorming, because we want to create an experience that resonates with our brand. So it takes us a long time to plan a typical influencer marketing cohort training, because we are very intentional about our branding and how we want to come out whenever we are coming out. So that's basically it. So what that would help you do is, by the time people have a very fantastic experience with you, whether you are building a company or startup, or you're building your brand as an individual, if you can add that touch, that uniqueness that only you can bring, that exceptionalism that would come with your brand, such that people can, have a memorable experience with you. That helps also to boost your personal branding, and of course, word of mouth referrals that will come from people that have experienced you as a brand. So I think that's my own contribution. Thank you.
Very much. Over to you, Mommy.
Yeah, okay. So I would like to. The question again is, can you please repeat the question? So, can you just please let me repeat the
How do you
question?
secure your first, Web3 job with your personal branding, and how has it been going so far for you?
Okay, so I would say, I said put yourself out there too. So I got my first Web3 job. I've always kept myself out there as a product designer in the Web2 space. So the first time I did a certification from like UCL, University College of London, last year, January, the day I posted my certificate, the next week, someone just messaged me. I was like, oh, because I'm already good in my Web 2 this thing. I'm already good in my Web 2 product design. So it won't be hard for you to trust me to do Web 3 very well. That is, so I just got I think it was up to a week, and I was like, oh, can you help me do this? And this, okay, we have an NFT store. I would like to create a website for that. And stuff like that. That's how I got my first job. I always share the progress. So I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Unless the company does not want me to like post, or my client does not want me to post about what it's about. But like when you are good at what you're doing before, to even transition and tell people that, oh, this is what I'm doing now, or like I've upgraded my skill, people will not easily trust you, because I already built that brand of like you already people trust your brand. So after then I've been able to get jobs, and most of the times I usually tell people I get my jobs through referral. That is, if you want to know how strong your brand is, people usually refer you. If I barely apply for things. I get them mostly through referral. Oh, she has done this for me before. I know I've seen her do this. I know she can do this. So when you build your brand to that point, like you just continue to show up as someone that is serious, someone that actually wants this thing, someone that is very serious about this particular thing. If you continue to show up, continue to get things. Because I've been able to get awards, I've been able to get different things. I'm able to get good paying clients. I'm able to get very good connections and very good paying jobs. So I would say when you continue to show up, this is what you actually do. This is what you do. This is what you do. When people just remember, let people. I remember early this year, one of my friends wanted to give me a particular job, and it was not a Web3 job. So it was a Web2 product design job. It's a new startup. It's an AI startup. And he said, "Mommy, I am sorry." Look at me and said, "Mommy, I am sorry. This is a Web2 job. I don't know if you still take Web2 jobs." So for you to know how strong I've built it, that you are telling me sorry to accept a Web2 job, a Web2 design job, because I've already built that it's okay. This Web3 is Web3 on, like, it's just that I'm letting you know that it's Web3. It's just Web3. He was like, "Oh, can you take it? Do you still do it? Do you still do Web3? It's still design. Oh, it's still the same product design, same website design. Do you still do website design? But this time it's just for Web2." So let people know that this is actually what you stand for. Like, this is what I am about. Once they know that is what I am about, your party friend that does not go to church, you cannot force them to go to church. There are some people that if they want to party in your school, or yes, you want to party in your school, now these people will surely be there. You will, at that point, you not start seeing that most people that you say that they go to parties, they're going to party today, they're going to party next tomorrow, they're going to the party frequently. If someone wants to organize another party next time, all the time they'll use them as an influencer for the party, because people have already known them for that particular thing. They always at this particular type of party, this particular type of party, this particular type of party. Your fellowship president in school, why did they make them fellowship president? Because they have continually shown up in your fellowship as people that will continue to show up in the fellowship, that continue to build represents the face of that fellowship. So building your brand will actually take you far and allow people to know who you exactly you are, what exactly you stand for, and stuff like that. So that's it for me. And Penny already said a lot of other things, so that's it. That's what I'm adding.
Yeah, thank you so much, Peniel and Manu. Thanks for that. Okay, so guys, if you don't have any question regarding personal branding and establishing an online presence in the please do ask, because this is very very important. If you are in position for opportunities in the web ecosystem, believe me, no one is going to offer you these job opportunities. You need to be the own personal brand. And Mami and Pen has explained what personal brand is and how you could establish your online presence. So I don't know if you guys have any question regarding this, and if there's anything you'd love to know, please feel free to ask. You can request to speak up and use the Telegram chat. So while we wait, I don't know if there's anything Pele and Mami would love to say or her to what they've said, or to what they've said so far.
So for me, okay, as a closing remark, or is that what you're asking?
Mark, the section is for 2 hours work. If we don't spend up to 2 hours, it's okay, but like there's anything you guys love to still say about personal branding and establishing an online presence. Not a closing remark per se, but if that's what you guys have to share, no worries, you guys have shared more than enough already.
Yeah, okay. So one of the things I actually also like to tell you as people that are here is be yourself, be calm, do you. I know that you can see one person influencing, oh, this and this and this and this and this and this thing. You can see another person doing this, doing this, doing this, doing this, doing this, doing that, doing this. Do things for you, do things that make you happy. Design, even everybody, I guess so that sometimes you may want to do certain things because not because of the passion, but because of the money. And that is very, very true. But at least do some things that actually still make you happy. Like you're a design person, you're a business analyst, and or you're someone that just develops business. Like people that you call business developers, they can do a business that even they don't have interest in, but they'll build it very because they're like business developers. So I would say put yourself out there and also do something for you. Like, oh, you're a designer, do something. If you're a visual person, do something that's related to design. You're an NFT marketer, people, how, like my younger sister now, she has a way of talking to people. Like she's very good at that. You don't know when she becomes your friend. You don't even know how she will talk to you that you would think you are best friends. So you know that kind of person wants to go into marketing. So you do something that like actually more related to what you're naturally gifted with. If you're an introvert, you can be a behind the scenes like marketing strategist. But like if you're an extrovert, you really want to lean towards the things that are more outside. Even if you check this, there are some websites I tried last year on trying to know like what particular specialty will fit you based on your personality. You see, they will ask you most of the ones I took, they asked about if you're an introvert and extrovert, because that's what make you know, okay, this is what I can really like on or like move towards to. So I say just do what you actually really like. Since you're a beginner in the field, do something that you are already used to. So that way it doesn't feel like it's a lot, it's just too much. So you don't even get quickly burnt out when you're doing something. At least you know that yes, this is something I like. At least I have some passion and something that is pushing me. Especially beginners, we as beginners in the space, you just really want to do something that does not make you easily lose interest. And then try things. When I say try things, I'm giving testimony of try things. I have tried every single thing you want me to try. I have tried things that when I am doing something, I know that yes, it's something that is for me. I started my tech journey like around 2018, 2019-ish. I started with development. People know I used to develop before. I developed in 2019. And then I tried 2019-ish. 2019, 2018, I used to be a developer. Before then, I used to be a designer. So in 2019, almost ending, I started doing video editing. I bought my laptop with my hands because I wanted to do video editing. And then 2020, because I'm not satisfied, I'm just trying to find things that really, really interest me genuinely. I tried, what's it called? Video editing. Because my laptop spoiled and I had to get another one 2020. I tried video editing back. The one that made me lose my laptop, I actually did not even have interest in it. Because I tried it for 4 months and I was still not like really having that passion or that drive to continue to go back to it. I've tried 3D animation in tech. This is just in tech or in the creative world. I tried testing. I even went back to my web development for a while and I said, okay, because if you know them 2018 era, you use your Photoshop to cut and slice. That's what we used to do then. So you design on Photoshop and then you cut and slice and then you code on Sublime Text or you code on Adobe Dreamweaver. Then you code them. So then what I used to do, I was like, okay, now in 2020, people were using more of like XD and Figma. I reached out to one of my friends. Another thing, have friends and be good to your friends. Don't be a leeching friend. So when they see something, they will share it with you. And that's actually very easy. When they see something, and also when I call it, is a child that opens his arms that the parents carry. I hear them put it. Is that so? Make your hands open that when people want to carry you, they know that yes, you need help or you want to be carried and stuff like that. So 2020. After I was like, okay, let me learn HT, I reached out to a friend and I was like, okay, don't worry, I'll help you get this. Because, and for instance, when I didn't reach out to him that, there's an answer UI UX, so that's all. I said, I have checked this. I have gone to my school. I said all the things I've done on my own. So personally, also do something on your own. Like try and start something by your own self. I've tried this, but I've not been able to get it. I said, okay, don't worry, I will get you somebody. So that's how I started. I get somebody, and then I started doing product design. And for instance, what made me like product design is not even the designing of the screens. It's actually the empathy part. So in between my 2019 to 2020 time, that time when my laptop was not working, I was not doing anything. I continued designing with my phone. I've seen people that have reached out to me. I still even got a call this year based on those designs I made then. I was in Canva. One of the graphic design I do recently, I Canva. People say, Mama, it's on Canva. Like, which Canva? It's not the same Canva we use. Yes, Canva. So then I used to have a mental health page. So it used to be for young adults and teenagers. I'm big on empathy. So when the first 2 weeks of my training, we were doing UX. So it was more about understanding people's feelings, bringing the needs of the users and the clients and everybody, merging it together and being able to provide solution for them. The very thing I said, yes, sign me up because I was like, yes, I'm providing solutions to people. Fine. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm mostly about, activism and that. So, okay, yes, that's it. Then 2021, it was a Twitter post too that allowed me to get my first job, even Web2. a Twitter post. I posted this, and person reached out to me. I was like, oh, I really like your design. So can you help me do this? I still have the guy's number today. He still gives me the subsequent stuffs like back to back. Oh, Mame, can you help me do this, or can you help me do this? I've done this from somebody before we renew you. Can you help us with design and stuff like that? That's it. So I would say, and then Web 2, when I entered Web 3, I made friends with people and I talked with people, and then I always showed up. Now I'm all about, even now recently I've been writing. I recently wrote something about like voting in blockchain. So writing more about and like talking about the case studies of the use cases of blockchain and Web3, apart from like even the finance part. So put yourself out there, do something that actually really interests you. Let people know what you're about. Let people understand that this is who you are. Like, even as a person, even without brand, your personal morals also like reflect in your work. It also reflect. So let people know this is what you're about, this is what you do, this is why you do this is why you do that. So that's feel like that's what I would really, really, I can say, be yourself. I said be yourself. That's it. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mommy. Okay, please go on, Penny.
Okay, so I wanted to add to what she has said. Well, yeah, like she even said about exploring, because truth be told, even I myself have explored a lot of things, from, I mean, I do graphics design, video editing right now. Well, that one self is that you actually be forced to do it, because I mean, as much as somebody can tell you, focus on what you like, focus on what you enjoy, but if you are towing the route of building a product, like building an actual company in the Web3 space, like building maybe a Web3 company, a Web3 product, that will require you to require more skill sets, it would be important for you to actually learn every single skill. Also, because when you are hiring people, especially now, there's a couple of challenges with hiring the right set of people, or hiring people who can deliver as excellently as you expect. So for every, in quotes, Web3 entrepreneur, you literally have to be everything. So you can't necessarily even say, I don't like this thing, because what if there's a day you need this graphics design done, and the person you hired is defaulting on it, and then you really need to go out, so you have to wear like many hats, especially as an entrepreneur, so exploring a lot of skill sets is actually important. For example, for me now, because I run a company, I'm a graphics designer, I'm a video editor, I even do websites, because sometimes you need to touch, and maybe you're just talking to the person, the person is probably not even getting you. So, but you just need to just, let me just sit down and just do this thing, so that you see what I'm doing, that kind of thing. And then, so I've had to literally learn many things, in the course of executing, being an entrepreneur in the Web3 space. And of course, to just add to what she also said, as when you build your brand, when you identify the exact place, exact niche you want to fit in the Web3 space. After building your brand, when you've decided what you want to do, consistency is very key, and authenticity. Now, what I mean by that is, because you can start off, and many times, especially this generation, usually we think that life is that easy. I mean, life is easy, but of course, they like to think of life as a Ponzi scheme. You put one and get 5,000 in 24 hours, but it doesn't work like that. So there are a couple of times you can be consistently putting out content, constantly putting out things, and it seems like nobody's even seeing what you're doing. But that's why consistency is key. You know what you're doing, keep at it, keep at it, keep at it until one day somebody will look in that direction, or God will have someone look in that direction, and that will favor you, because I mean, I'm sure you've probably heard some of these social media influencers that will tell you, wow, I've been doing skits for 3 years, or nobody saw it. Then it just took one video that went viral, and that's how their life changed. So consistency is very key. Authenticity also is very key, because in building your brand, you need to have your own voice. Don't try to copy people. So you need to be you, because of course God made each one of us unique. And there's only one of you, one copy of you. Even though you can have lookalikes, but that lookalike can never behave like you, can never think like you. And as God will also have it, all our fingerprints are different. That shows that there's that uniqueness that you bring. So many times when I tell my influencers, because we raise them to do content marketing, create content, Web3 content that will help them, raise that brand perception that people have of them in the Web3 space as influencers. So, and one thing I always tell them is, I want to, and when you see their content, I always tell them, I want to hear you in your writing. So I always allow them to be themselves, because I say, there's you are different, you are you, there's no other you. So I want to see you in what you are doing. I want to see that element, that differentiation. You don't write, don't go, especially now that AI has made a lot of people, I like call it lazy, but AI has actually made some work so simple that people now just rely on AI, and everybody now is sounding alike. When you are sounding alike, it doesn't even help you. As a matter of fact, somebody was even complaining to me 2 weeks ago or so about, that he has been trying to get jobs in the Web3 space as a Web3 content writer, and people are, companies are rejecting. And I asked him, are you using ChatGPT to write? He said, yes. I said, that's why they're rejecting you, because now a lot of companies now know how ChatGPT writes. They know the style of writing of ChatGPT. So by the time you come out and you're doing, they already know where you're coming from. So they just lay you off instantly. So I said, you have to learn how to write by yourself, and then have your own voice in your writing. So the same thing I'm saying, the authenticity, there's something that only you bring, so there has to be that your touch in your brand, where, people can see your personality in what you're doing, So basically for me, that's what I want to add, have your consistency is also very important, and authenticity is important as well. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that. First time I was so one of the things one was you guys have said so far. Okay, this is a personal question for me. There's this saying in Web3 that's build in public, build in public. I'm this kind of a person. I've been living my life on the low. I don't really like putting myself out there. But rather instead of putting myself out there, I would rather probably put my work out there. And sometimes if it involves me, putting myself out there as I work, I would rather just step back and then just feel like working. As long as the project I'm working with sees what I'm doing and the results are very, very, very clear, I feel like I don't really need to put myself out there. Except it's on demand. So, but what do you guys have to say about it? Is it something think you think it's not? I don't know if I should do what ethical or something that's not really good for my personal brand, or it doesn't really matter how you do it. Just let me know what you guys think about it.
Okay, so I think first of all, putting your personal self out there depends on where you want to play. For example, if you check my personal LinkedIn account, I don't even write anything, like in terms of, I don't write Web3 content. I only share what my brand is doing. Also because I'm like that, I don't like to be seen. I don't like, I just don't like attention from, I just want to be quietly doing my thing. And so long as I'm making progress and I'm happy is important. So, like I said, it depends on what for me, I can get away with it because I have a brand, I have a company, right? And I'm raising people. So what that would mean is, if I mean currently I would be able to raise three major LinkedIn influencers in Web3. One of them has about 3,500 followers on LinkedIn alone. And then have a couple of two more that have like one five and 1,000 followers. What that is for me is I don't need to put myself out there because my result is putting me what I'm doing out there. So I only need to like just share my brand and um, just share what my brand is doing because your results will just show. So if you have like a company, if you're building a company, if you're towing the Web3 entrepreneurial route, I don't think you need to put yourself out there. But if you are towing the Web3 job route, like you're getting a job, you're not building a company, you're not building anything, you definitely have to put yourself out there because that's the only way you can actually get gigs, right? People need to know you for you. But if you are doing the entrepreneurial route, people don't need to know you. They just need to know the company and the results that the company has produced, right? Because I mean, there are a couple of companies in the world today. If they ask you who is the founder of CNN, do you know? You probably don't know, but the results of CNN is louder than who this founder is. Do you get? So if you're touring the entrepreneurial route, you just need to like build the branding of your company. You don't necessarily need to be out there if you're doing the entrepreneurial route. But if you are going the job route, you definitely need to be out there, because that's how companies would identify you and probably hire you, except if there is a ready job market for Web3. But I've not really seen, except maybe there's this crypto job list or something. But I don't know how competitive that space is. So for if you're doing the job route, you have to force yourself to be out there, literally. And yeah, it's not convenient because there are a couple of people too that it's not really convenient for, but what their goal demands that you come out. Like I was saying, earlier, I said, as an entrepreneur, for example, I've had to be everything, including a marketer and all that, because I don't like to go out. I don't like to be out there, but I have been forced to talk to some people that I naturally would not just even want to even talk to because of my what I'm trying to do, because of my brand, because of what I'm doing. I force myself to talk. So if you are, like I said, that's why I'm saying, if you are towing that job route, you just have to put yourself out there. You have to force yourself to be out there because that's the route, you said you want to go. And those are some of the requirements for playing in that space. It's just like somebody saying, I want to play in the entertainment industry and I'm an introvert. There's no way. You would just have to come out, because that is what that industry demands. You have to be outside, uh, unless your music will not sell, unless your music will not sell. You have to go to events. You have to, liaise with outdoor events, because that's what gives you the visibility in the space. So there are some things that I'll call them sacrifices. There are some sacrifices you have to make in building your personal brand, also because of what you want to achieve. So, yeah, thank you. I hope that answers the question, though. Or if Mami also has something to add to.
Yeah, thanks so much for the opinion and your view as well. Just don't know when. It was until recently I started posting some stuff on LinkedIn. I've gone to several events, speak at several events, and I don't really even post these things on my profile, my Twitter, my LinkedIn. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's due to the work, the kind of people I work with, and the projects I work with. And to be honest, I've worked with several people, and these guys, they don't have any profile on LinkedIn or whatever it is, as in nothing to track them with. these guys are working with big projects. These guys are making thousands of dollars yearly. And I'm like, how do you guys do it? They say, how do you do it too? I'm like, but I can't even find anything to trace to your background, something you've really done, like a profile where I can go and check something you've done. Yeah, like what? The thing is that we started working in the Web2 ecosystem. And Web2 ecosystem, where they are working with, it's not really based on LinkedIn. It's based on your experience, your skill. That they are personally focused on, building their own skills. Rather than building this online presence, they are building real life presence, the skills, the portfolio, but they're not putting it out there. But when you need it, when they request, they provide it to people. I'm like, why does it have to be like that? I say this because I don't know. Probably maybe it's due to the kind of nature or the work that's the work nature they find themselves in. So I'm like, probably maybe that's the way I also feel. And right from the one, I'm not this kind of social media type. I can go like 2, 3, 4 months without ever posting anything on my social media, except on Twitter where I do post with Twitter and some basic thing. And at times I don't personally post something like on Twitter, except it's been posted by a project and then I just retweet. I don't know if, but so far so good, it's been working good for me and other projects I've been working with. To be honest, it's based on referral. People, okay, reach out to this guy on this, reach out to this guy on it, and these are people. Most people don't even know my real name in this space. Even the projects I'm working with, nobody knows my real name, nothing. The only thing that I've built with them was trust, and I built that trust without having to really, expose my own personal self out there. I'm like, if I can do that with, top projects and it works for me, well, I don't know for others. It might work for others, it might not work for others. It depends on how probably they present themselves to projects. So maybe that's just my take on it as well.
Okay,
If we have
so
a question.
I wanted to add to what you said. Yes, because you've already
Okay.
built a brand for yourself as a credible person. So you don't necessarily need to do extra marketing. That's why, I said in earlier, I said designing the experience that people will have with you is very important. When people contact you for the first time, what kind of experience do you want them to have? There are a couple of things that I even do, like from the way I talk, even down to like the way our invoices work, to the way we do contracting and all that. We ensure that when people contact us, we look very serious. We look like people who are not just hanging around waiting for people to drop things on us. When I'm also even having meetings with like international people who probably want to come and partner with our brand, I don't do that begging African thing. I'm very confident talking with them, you know, yeah, and that is different because, I think also, that's just the brand I'm building, a very confident brand, a brand that I'm very conscious of the fact that I am different and I'm an experience, I am an experience sort of that when you leave, you will never have another experience like that. So I'm very conscious of that building of that brand and of course the credibility as well. Do you get? So once you build that kind of credibility where people can trust you, it becomes easy for them to refer you without even you doing any much marketing. Like I said, your results is your branding, literally. So it's what results have you produced? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it good? You definitely know that can multiply in several referrals. So it's very important that you design, like I said, in branding, just design the experience that you want people to have of you, so that such that they would just do the marketing for you without you literally putting yourself out there. So yeah.
Thanks so much, Peniel. Okay, guys. If you have any questions, please do feel free to ask. Kindly request to speak or use the meeting chat or the Telegram chat. Okay. Brian Mania is asking, in branding, what particular niche in blockchain evolves around semi-introverts?
I can't say um semi-introverts would be people who are both outgoing and depends on their mood. They are both outgoing and introverts at the same time. So it depends on their mood, you know. Um, um, I don't think there is any niche for them. I think the niches are based on the subsects and the industry and what interests you literally. Um, and then you can now look at, okay, what does this niche demand? For example, um, I won't tell you to go into, except if you want to stay indoors, the people that stay indoors analyzing token or are traders or DeFi, specialists that just analyze crypto gems and give people trade market updates. That one doesn't require to go anywhere. Just stay in your room, watch news, analyze news, send out updates, build communities around that. If you're that type of person, and um, if you are a community building type, you definitely know you have to go out. There's nobody who's building community who's not networking at one time or the other. So you have to be meeting people because that's one of the ways you grow your communities. Gaming as well. Of course, playing play to earn games in your house. Um, or even building play to earn game communities. So I think those are some things you can do indoor. NFT depends on what the demands are. Um, if it's just to market somebody's NFT, you definitely know you might need to do outdoor marketing or indoor, depends on what the demand is. So I can't really tell you there's a niche. It's just based on interest. So whatever interests you in the space, then you need to find the um, the requirements for being successful in that niche, and then see if it fits into what you are doing. But at the same time, if you're working with your interest, I would say you should just stick with your interest and then stomach whatever that interest demands. If he says you should go out now, it's not your interest. Do you get? Because you can't be pursuing personalities over interest, because there's a word that career counselors would always tell people, do what you love, right? They always say do what you love. And then there's a question they will also ask you: what will you be doing if, for example, they say if a company wants to hire you and they say they will not pay you forever and ever, pick a role. What can you do in your sleep? What kind of work will you do in your sleep and still be happy even if they're not paying you? Those are how to like pick interest parts, and then stick with it, because that's the passion that you would need to be consistent. Because if you keep looking for roles that will fit, I don't like to go out, I don't like to hear. There are some works that if you don't go out, you'll be hungry. So you have to go out, to get the deals that will bring in the money. So it's first things first is based on interest, what you love, because that passion for what you love would make you make sacrifices, like I earlier said, just to see it work, and that's far better than looking for niches that fit your personality, whether you go out or you come in, so I hope that works. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Penny. Okay, someone sent me being asking that you've spoken a lot about personal branding, establishing online presence, but you never mentioned some of the tools they could use to do this. Like, what tools can they use, because they're all beginners?
Yeah, so I'll say tools. Tools for what? Okay, tools for personal branding. So more
Yeah, tools they could use to build personal branding and also establish an online presence.
yeah, so you have your social media accounts, and then you have Canva. Canva is free. I think I spoke about Canva like long ago. Canva is free, the free versions. You can remove backgrounds, you can have your professional pictures there. You can you can edit videos the way you want a particular. I don't know if some influencers and there's some people that just know that edit this particular way. So I feel like color, logo, yes, sometimes logos following certain or particular. So I would say Canva. If you're a pro, also if you're a developer, practicing a particular, let's say, some people that are very good in XD and Figma. So people their personal, their specialties in what's it called, Figma or is in XD. So any of the two. But I would say for designing or for putting something like you're putting your content out there. I'll say Canva. You can even edit your videos in Canva if you don't know. You do your thumbnails. I've done thumbnails. I've done videos in Canva. I've edited videos in Canva. Designed in Canva. I've made presentations with Canva. You can do a lot. You can even design websites with Canva. Like that's how it is. So at the beginning, one of the free resources you can use is Canva. So you can use that to put your this thing. Then more sometimes most I would like us to know apart from the colors and the logo, the content too is very, very, very important. So unless you want to ask for tools used for particular skills, then I'll tell you, okay, this other skill, this is what you need it for. This is what you need to do.
Thank you so much. I think that answers the question. The ghost messenger. So, okay, I don't think we have any other questions from the participants. Yeah, thank you so much, Peden and Mami, for joining tonight's section, and thanks for sharing your wealth of knowledge. The section has really been interactive and engaging, and I'm glad people able to follow up and connect. So, I don't know any other final thoughts you guys would love to share before we officially end tonight's section. Something they could take home with as a beginner.
Okay, so I think my final words would just be just keep building, and stay consistent. Learn, because the truth is in this space everybody's learning. There's no master right now, so everybody's learning. It's a continuous learning process for every one of us. So keep learning and always have the hunger for more knowledge, and at the same time in building your brand, make sure you are consistent. And that's why I've said do what you love, because when you do what you love, it will just the love that you have for what you're doing would just drive you to be consistent, basically. Like somebody whose hobby is playing football, you don't need to remind him to play ball because he just likes it. So he just goes, anytime he sees ball, it's just there, just that, like, there are some kids that just like phones, anything device, they just understand it magically, somehow supernaturally or something, they just understand it. You don't need to teach them anything. They just have that interest, and it just keeps fueling them to get more knowledge in what it is, and that's passion. That's because they love it. It's just driving them. The love they have for it is just driving them. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Do what you love, and stay consistent and continually learning in this space. So I think those are my final words. Thank you.
Well, you guys are about that. As a footballer, nobody reminds you to play football. Nobody forces you to play football. Naturally, when you see guys playing football, mathematically, that's how it flows. So you guys need to build that kind of consistency. You need to build that kind of presence. You need to build that kind of passion. Something that you really do without having to be forced to do. So yeah, let's hear from Mami. And also, I think Chair Miriam has a question. So, Chair Miriam, I don't know if you want to ask a question now or Mami should go on first.
I think she can go. They can go on first. Don't know if
All right,
she.
Chair Miriam, you have the mic, sir. Chair Miriam, can you hear me? Or probably using Glow Network. Let's wait maybe the next 5 minutes is going to hear me. Okay, yeah, Mami, over to you. So, what are your final thoughts?
So my final thoughts is, like I said, just be yourself, and then you know who you are. So do something that represents you, and then what you want. Then know your goals first, At least our advice, have journals or like a book where you can always remember. There's this Bible verse, I'm sorry for bringing Bible verse, that says it was written on the tablet so you can continue to see the vision. So write it down, have your goals, so you do things that you so you can work towards those goals. Then you'll be fine. I think Chimere is back up.
Thanks so much, Mommy, and thanks so much, Penny. So,
You're welcome.
you are not saying anything, sir. You have the mic.
Okay,
Please
can you
go on.
guys hear me now? Can
Loud
you
and
guys hear
clear.
me now?
Loud
Okay,
and
good evening,
clear.
everyone. Good evening, Mami. Good evening, the speakers. I really enjoyed the session and have really learned a lot from you guys. So, truly, concerning about this personal branding, it has really been something that I've been looking into. And I truly know that with personal branding, it can be easy for you to get jobs from companies based on what you've been working on before. So, I just want to ask like two questions. One of the question is one, as a young, let me say, as a junior developer, now you know you are starting developing in the tech, and maybe you've done some previous work on other areas of tech, like you've done something in terms of community and all of that, and then you want to like actually focus on build yourself on when it comes to like being a developer or a software engineer. So how best do you think that that person can start? Because you see, in the terms of like this developer of a thing, for you, if you start, you won't be all that knowledgeable on how to actually like do a thing. Not that you don't know how to do it, but the experience is not actually there, but you can actually execute those of like some of these things. And one of the things I've learned this past few months of being in Web3 is that when talking about being a personal brand, you have to like continue putting out content about what you do. And seeing that you're a developer, there's no much content excluding more of a technical something that you have to like start telling people. And you know it, not that you've experienced it so that you can teach others. How best do you think like a young developer should start building his personal brand? That's my number one question. And then number two question is, I want to ask if any of you will be able to like mentor someone that's trying to build his personal brand, if it is possible. Yeah, so those are my two questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll answer the first question. Then I think Penny will answer the second one. So the first question is, so as a junior developer, how do you put yourself out there as a brand? I have friends that are like junior developers, and they make like you can build your calculator app. Sometimes I even do designs for have your design friends do some things, and then you develop it and then you post it. And you don't have to. I'm not saying you have to post every time. I don't know the last time I posted a project, but like it just has to continue to show up, at least continue to be in people's face. And you write technical articles. You write technical articles. You could write about what you are learning. You could do like this 30 days of coding, something like that. People do it. Okay, 30 days of coding, look for a challenge, do it. People remember you. That one, even that 30 days is a very long time. You can keep that 30 days. I usually do 5 days challenge. Don't just feel like, oh, I just want to come up, like just do something. I'll do 5 days challenge. So you can do like maybe 10 days. So 30 days may be too long for you. Start with 7 days. If you can do to 7 days without stopping, go to 30 days and stuff like that. So write technical products, your GitHub, this thing, contribute to other people's repositories like that. So I think that's a way of you like at least showing up and showing that okay you are here. So I think Penny will like answer your second question.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
thank you
didn't
very
really
much. Thank you. I really got value.
something about program. Please, can you take your second question again? Sorry.
So my second question was like, are you guys open for mentorship? Like someone that is just starting that wants to like get to know,
Okay.
because I believe that with a mentor you have to like you go very far, because if you go alone you go fast, but you go with someone that's been there and someone that can direct your path, the journey will be a little bit easier for you. So I was asking if you guys are open like for mentorship or something.
Okay. Individual mentorship. No, about group mentorship. So we have like post-program mentorships that we usually have for our cohorts, members of our cohort. So they're still under mentorship even because I still drive them to create content, for their page and just show up every day. Yeah, because I also see that hesitation sometimes that they have, like, this week I'm not in the mood to even do anything. So I'll just be on them. I'll be like, because we used to say, I'm sure everybody knows here, Tunde Headnut, on Instagram. So we used to say Tunde Headnut is our goal because that guy can post like 50 different videos in a day. So I say Tunde Headnut is the goal. Oh yeah, everybody start again, start writing, start creating your content. Also because being an influencer, it's especially in this digital age, you need to be a either content writer or creator in any way. So yeah, it's just group mentorship literally because I actually have a very busy schedule. So it might be the cohort based, maybe when our cohort 2 starts, maybe we can have maybe a sort of partnership with Secret Networks, such that some more people from here can also be a part of it, and then also take advantage of the post-program mentorship that happens there. I hope that answered the question in any way, Sha. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate, and I'll be looking forward for the cohort too. I don't know when possibly it should be starting. Maybe I can add it to my calendar and reach out to Pope to help remind you guys or something like that. Don't know if that will be possible.
I'll probably also reach out to him because I think he also helped me with a couple of people from some other communities for our cohort 1. So I'll also let him know as well.
Pardon, I didn't get what you said.
Okay, I said he also helped me with, he helped us with cohort 1 participants. So when we're having cohort 2, I would also reach out to him to just put the word out there as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'll be looking forward to that. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Pena. Thanks so much, Mommy. This section has been amazing, and thanks for taking out the time to teach us, learn from us, and also we guys get to learn from you guys as well. Thank you so much. So that will be the end of tonight's section officially, and thanks to everyone who participated. And guys, don't miss tomorrow's section. Tomorrow's section again will dive deeper into career opportunities in Web3, and how you guys could just position yourself, build a brand, build a personal branding, and also the skills you guys need to thrive in a decentralized future, which is very, very important. There are several skills that you can learn, but as you just need to be proficient and consistent at whichever skills you find yourself building. So tomorrow, guys, we'll go deeper into career opportunities. And thanks to our speakers once again for joining us tonight. Yep, this officially ends the meeting.